Hello everybody, welcome back to Brad Fab Garage. We have been messing with the Camaro, trying to get to the track. It was closed this weekend, so we've been playing on the streets with it a little bit. And man, it is so hot, you know. And like the last video, we talked about going air, water over air. And so went in and ran the fingers on Amazon and Summit, and we've got some parts finally. So we have got the air to water intercooler, my water box, my fittings, 20 foot of dash 12, and a pump inside for the tank. So as long as every other project that goes on around here, sometimes things start happening fast when I'm in a hurry and ready to get things done. So hunting season's on the way, so I want to try and get this thing wrapped up. So you know how it goes. Golly, man, the boxes. I order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I forgot. And some stainless steel and some aluminum. So, because we are going to have to redo our cold side. But you know how it is. You know, you order 4 or 5 things and you get 45 boxes out of the deal. Oh man, that looks like a wreck waiting to happen right there. We've got parts. I have to figure out how I'm going to run my water lines and get whatever feed through bushings, because I'm probably going to go through the front of the trunk and drop down over the axle and go into the frame rail and come up. So my plan is to take that intercooler. You can see where I've marked this off already. I'm going to cut this out, mount the intercooler right there. That should run from the turbo underneath the fan to the intercooler, out the intercooler above the fan, and come right back into here. Now that you can't see where I'm not talking to my hands. I plan on having a mounting bracket underneath, a mounting bracket on the back. That thing is heavy, so it's got to be fairly well mounted, and it's pretty heavy without any water in it. So with the weight of the water and bouncing going down the road and stuff like that, we got to work on bracing all that. So, and it is hot. So anyway, once again, I think like I said, we're gonna cut this out right here, but I think first, just because we've got some plans this evening and I'm not going to get too head over heels in it, I'm going to work on mounting the bilge pump inside the tank, get that done. Then we can go ahead and go to the trunk and figure out how we're going to situate this thing. I did use a dash 12 steel braid. I have everything on fitting wise except for these. I ordered an extra O-ring fitting for that, and these are actually NPT. They're not O-ring fittings. So I've got to get the right fittings ordered. I ordered 2 of these for the tank and then 2 of these for this. It never told me which was which, thank you Amazon, but they are pipe thread, so that's no big deal. I'll order some more. Okay, as far as the water box, ice box, tank, whatever you want to call it, this one is made, let's see, there has some mounting screws for the top of the lid. That is a plug, the bung for the electrical wiring to go to the pump, and then we have a dump valve for the tank. So I have marked the holes in here and made a little template for the inside holes, and that should fit the inside of this bilge pump. Get the old one-handed shake. See if we can get this lid off here by ourselves. Give you. Okay, so this should allow me to go right there. We'll drill these 4 holes, and that should let the pump mount to the bottom of the tank on that little pedestal that they made for you already. So that should be pretty simple. Mark these holes and see if we make the pump fit. Next thing we'd have to do is go to the parts store after that and find a way. We need to find some kind of a small 90. That pump is going to sit in there like that, and we need to go from there to there. So if we can find a 1-inch 90, then man, that'll be set. I got my own TIG welder now. I've been practicing. I need a lot more practice. My buddy can't help me with the cold side here, so I'm hoping I can get some more practice in, and by the time I'm ready to do that, then I can weld my own stuff. I have been practicing I don't know how good you can see that. Some of them are okay, some of them are not so okay, and those are really bad. I'm just trying to figure out how to set this welder up. Ooh, that's a pretty one right there. I wish I could do that all day long. But anyway, so I'm trying to figure out this new little Yes welder. It seems to be a really nice machine. It just doesn't come with a whole lot of information on setting the machine up. So most of the TIG welders I've ever used in the past, which is only like twice, were just dials. They just click, click, click. That's how thick you want to go and go with it. So I'm learning this whole new inverter welder things. Let's put the pump together. I think this is actually the right Allen wrench. Okay, that is in there. The pump will just simply snap in place like that. That was as easy as it can get. So that snapped in easy. Pump sets in there just like that. Like I said before, we just got to get our little hoses hooked up there. We've got plenty of wiring to run out of. There's a bung right there is where our wiring will come out. And man, we're golden. All right, I think I'm gonna go ahead and put in all the bungs, just so when we're sizing things up, we're sizing it up with everything. There's that one. We're started. That one. Now our drain, which that's a pipe thread, but I'm gonna put some silicone on that real quick. Okay, got a little silicone on it. Definitely don't want any leaks. Everything else was O-ring fitting, so that's good. I'll snug these up. Get my monster wrench that's older than I am. Probably one of my dad's wrenches that he's been missing for 30 years. So if you see this, Dad, you might have your wrench. Now, onto these monstrosity of monster things right there. It's like the biggest A&N fitting I've ever bought in my life. We have that. We have that. Okay, my idea here, got the heavy battery over there, we got the not so heavy CO2 bottle here, so we're going to try and set it right there. And here comes the rain. Alright, so don't know how I'm going to set this yet, but my idea that I wanted to do is as far back there as I can go, and then figure out what I'm going to do about that. So I don't know if I'm going to come up to this corner, drill a hole up there in front of the factory floorboard cross member, and go down that way. So I got some head scratching to do. Okay, this is kind of my idea right here. If I can get it down low enough in here like this, it won't block anything from where it draws air through the radiator. I got to cut the fender well out, and that's what I have marked off back here. It'll pull it back about 5 more inches, and we'll be out of the way of anything there. So the idea is to just short change this, come up and down and around. There's no sense in having a piece down through here where I might run my hoses through there. I don't know what's going on yet, but this needs to come out. So out it goes. I don't like it. Let's see what's next. Okay, if this works, I figure I got about 10 seconds before my air compressor kicks in. So let's see what happens here. Man, I have a good enough blade on it. Time to go back to Harbor Freight. perfect. Okay, now with that whacked out, so much for keeping all of my inner fender welds, but I'm at about 95% here and about 35% over there, but it still looks good. So my plan here, keep this pocket so the intercooler can slide into here a little bit further and still be low down to the frame. Okay, this is my idea right there. Man, that looks good. And I don't know if this light, if you can see good enough or not, because I got crappy lights in here for this. It does not block my radiator fan or anything. So I think that right there will work. Hot. Like to work. Okay, kind of mocked up the intercooler. I've got where my frame rail on the car sits from here to here. So I'm actually going to try and make about an 8-inch bracket that we can weld straight to the intercooler. So I've got my little cheesy little bandsaw over here set up. I just happen to have a perfect piece of, I think what is it, 1.5 by 3, maybe a 2 by 3, just some scrap material. This is actually was the seat brackets of my Camaro when it was a full back half car. So I've got another one of these somewhere. I just have to find out where it is, and I'll hang on to all this stuff. Don't ever throw stuff away. So we are going to set this little dude up. I think I paid $125 for this on Marketplace, and it does okay, but try and rush it, it just throws the blade off. The old wheels are kind of wobbly. My idea is going to be sticking this thing right on top of that weld like that. That'll give me plenty of mounting surface on this side and the same over here. That'll more than be enough to support this thing, but it's very thick all the way around, so I will not have to worry about that. I can do that with a spool gun, and it'll look okay. Next thing I'm going to do is take these nasty old brackets. I'm going to give them a good acetone bath, and then I'm probably going to mix up some water and muriatic acid, whatever you call it, and give them a good acid soaking. That should clean them up nice and give me a better welding surface. And I think this might already have some acid in it left over, sent away. So let's spray it on the concrete, and we'll know real quick whether it's an acid mix or not. The acid mix or not. Okay, yep, we got acid. It's foaming up that concrete and eating it up pretty good. So I have clean concrete and clean aluminum brackets. Don't want to breathe this stuff, that's for sure. Give that side a good soaking. That was our last coat of acid. That stuff washed off. See a shine now. I've got the intercooler kind of set up with the tabs that we just cut up and ground up and made. This has got this setting perfectly level off of the frame on both sides. So I've got the spool gun out. We're going to try and stick this on there and see how I like it. I think this will work out great. The goal is just to get this thing stuck to it. I'm not trying to weld it permanently yet, but I'm pretty much spot on with where it's sitting, and I've got plenty of room to move it forward and backwards. So let's get this thing stuck and see what we got. That one definitely looks a lot better. It's like I'm getting some practice or something. Man, if I do this enough, I might actually make these look good. Let me get a brush and clean that up, see what it looks like. right. Oh, today never ceases to amaze me. We did get the intercooler mocked up, got my holes where I can drill them and stuff like that. I go to dig out my little rev nut tool, and man, always something. Now I get to do the 1,000-piece, put it all back in the right spot, mumbo jumbo mess of jigsaw puzzles. So what do you do? Well, that was an hour of my life I won't get back. I think this was gonna work out pretty good. I got the CO2 bottle out, and I've got some holes drilled for the tank. Gonna sit about like that, and the lid. All right, let's see if we can screw index it however I want. Will come up just like that. Just find the holes in there. So yep, right there like that. So that'll actually work pretty well. That'll give me a lot more room in the trunk. I can shoot my hoses straight backwards. Probably go down through one of the drain holes right there, and that'll give me a lot of room. I can actually take my CO2 bottle and put it right back there after I get the hoses ran, and it gives me all my trunk space back. So I think I like that idea. Okay, so we're going to use the 1/4 20 and 1/4 20 right here. So we got to swap out this thing. Screw that in. Good to go. All right, let's go try it out. All right, get this bad boy out of the way. All right, like I said, I can get this one and this one with the riv nut, or nut zert, whatever you want to call it. But these two back here, I'll have to use regular bolts because I can't get the tool in there. Ooh, she's angry. Oh, I broke the drill bit. Check that out. That's going to be a rattle from now on. So let's see if we at least got this to fit. Hey, look at that. All right, I think we're winning a little bit now. We're just having to do it a hair at a time and just kind of short stroke this dude. Hopefully I don't break off the bit, as I've done that on the smaller sizes. Let's see what it looks like. Very first time I used this on the little metric when I broke it off. See if we got enough of a bite there that it wants to hold it in there. Feels like it. All right, that's working now. We got 2 of the riv nuts in the front. We'll put 2 bolts in the back. We can get to that with no problem back there. But you know what? Now we're on the subject of being nice and hot. Go get you one of these Brad Fab t-shirts. As you can tell, you'll sweat 5 pounds off in 1 hour with one of these t-shirts. So if you guys are looking for that weight loss program, there you go. Now back to this water box. It is going to set beautifully right here. Better not right there, that right here. Boom. 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 Awesome. I'm gonna bolt this thing in. All right, guys, we are back for day 2 working on this intercooler box. Did get by and got the perfect hose for this thing. Boom. It actually came off of there. So you know how it is, you got to buy a $40 hose to get the perfect piece that you need sometimes. So if you guys are looking for this kind of a pump setup, well, that is using the bilge pump style water pump. I've had mixed reviews that I found about these pumps. This is that Rule 2000 style pump. I've been told that they handle the heat okay. Some people say they don't like the heat. Let me know what you think about these pumps, because I don't like doing things twice, so let me know what you think. But anyway, but yeah, if you're looking for the part number for this hose, it is a Napa part number right there. Went by Napa over on Waterloo, Tim's place, and picked up the hose. So we're going to put this together and get this in the car tonight. Okay guys, I got the water box in the trunk, and I did make one little change. I don't know if you can see it from here. I've had this bolted flat to the floor, and that put basically this corner of the tank 1.25 inches into almost 1.5 inches lower than the front of the tank, which had it sitting like that. So, you know, water goes downhill. I wanted the tank level, so I got away with barely of getting that thing in there to where it clears the hood and everything. So our hinges clear everything, no problems. So I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm waiting on Amazon and UPS to get here, which they're supposed to be here tomorrow morning. They'll have my rubber grommets so that we can run the hoses. Trying to run these lines through there and down the outside of the frame rails and keep it nice and clean. So other than that, we're done for the day. I'm not going to remount my CO2 bottle until I have my lines ran, because if I mounted them, then I'd end up having to change that. You know how that goes. So we'll do that after the lines are ran. Amazon showed up, and we've got more parts here. So let's see what we got. We have got feed through rubber bushings for the hoses going through the floor, and this will be the -12 by 3/4 inch NPT threads that go into the intercooler. So we got that, and this should be rubber boots. All right, these are the rubber boots going from the intercoolers to the in and output. So got that. The only thing that hasn't come in today is the clamps for these, the T-clamps. So this box has got a couple things in it. We have our second roll of -12 by 20 foot. Since we're going from one end of the car to the other, we needed some line. And this, what is this? It's on an order in frenzy. So, oh, there they are. There's our clamps. I didn't think these were going to be until tomorrow, so they snuck them in on us. So, clamps for the boots. So now I pretty much have everything here I need to finish the intercooler. So we've got our stuff. So let's start figuring out what we're going to do with our hoses. Man, I got so excited the new parts getting here. I went to work and forgot all about turning the camera on. So go figure. So anyway, what I did is put 2 holes in the trunk right there. So I think I'm gonna bring my lines right there and just follow my fuel lines all the way to the front with a little bit of an air gap. I don't want any heat from the lines once they get hot, the hot water, and I don't want them heating my fuel lines up. So we'll separate those. So I'm gonna start grinding and cleaning up the edges on this, and try and get some grommets and some hoses to fit. That's nice and tight. I guess I got a little excited. I might not have hit record or whatnot, but I did get my lines hooked up here. So the bushings actually turned out pretty good through the floor. The grommets, whatever you want to call them. I got my A&N fittings on there. This is the -12 line to -12 fittings. So basically, the only thing I have left to do in the trunk is run a line for the drain right there. I'll just basically come up and go under the corner and just drop it right out the bottom. And then we've got to hook a ground and a relay up for the pump itself. So, but that's little stuff. I ain't worried about that. So I'm gonna try and work on getting the lines ran to the front of the car. I'm still waiting on the clamps to clamp these to the bottom of the body. So I've ordered some cool billet aluminum clamps, and I'm gonna use those. Okay, my plan originally was to try and come down and run the water lines through this between the frame and the seam on the body. You know, it keeps it away from the fuel system, it keeps it away from the exhaust, keeps it away from everything. And I can come right through here, and I've got plenty of room right there to run both those hoses, and then take them right up to the intercooler. I did get all the fittings for the intercooler, and I don't know if you can see or not, but we're talking boom and boom, in and out right there. And I bought some of these dash 12 clamps. So they came in metric, of course, and they just came with this little bitty bolt right here, which that's not going to work. So I drilled them out, tapped them, and made them American. What I am going to do, I just got the first one on here, and I wanted to see how everything was going to go before we did it. And I like these. That keeps it up over here, keeps it away from my fuel line, keeps it away from my exhaust. So I am going to put 3-4 of these down through here till it gets to the toe boards, and then go up into the firewall from there. So I like these. I drilled them out longer, made them a 1/4 so that I had some bolt sticking out from here. So these had a little recess thing right here, so you could clamp them together, but there's no real way to mount them. So I drilled a hole in the floor, put a bolt from the inside the floorboard into here, and then if I really felt worried about it, I could put a nut on the end of them here. So I just made it to where it bolts all the way through the floor, sandwich those together, and we're done. And that will look really nice going all the way down through there. I am happy with that, so I'm going to start on number 2. All right, I am ready to start finishing these hoses. I did some experimenting on this first hose, got that one done. I've got the second one marked and cut. I'm just trying to clean up all the fuzz. All right, got a shot of WD-40. Make things happy. Get this fitting off. Went ahead and threw one of the boots on there just so I know how close I can get with the thing. Put this on there. Alright, that went on good. Give it another little shot for good luck, especially on the threads. Same thing with this thing. Soak it down good so they don't gold any of the threads and they go on easy. These big ones are a lot easier to hold on than the little bitty things. You get in the dash 4s and dash 6s and they're kind of a pain. Where my wrenches go. Alright. Get the big boys out. Any AN wrenches I don't have 1 1/4 AN. Okay. Now everybody has their favorite ways of doing it, especially with this one being water and low and pretty much low pressure. I'm going to leave about probably maybe 30 thousandths or something, maybe a little less than that between there, because it doesn't need to be that tight, and because we're just probably don't even have a measurable PSI when it comes to that little water pump in the back. All right, leaving it. Not worth the battle. All right, put these on here. Sure, it's going to be close to the belt, but once I dress them in, it'll be like that, and that looks really good. Need to get another clamp right here. So I'm probably going to order another 4-pack of those black clamps. I really like those. They dress in nice, and man, I'm about done with the plumbing. All I got to do is wire a switch to the pump in the back, and then we can fill it up and run water. Just can't get no air through it yet. All right, I got a wire ran from the dash back to the trunk to activate the relay for the water pump. So I've got to try and get under there and get these hooked up. And this trunk is getting smaller and smaller every day. This is gonna work. Got some of these cool little heat shrink connectors. I love these things. These are awesome. I got these things when I had my hand surgery because I couldn't crimp anything. Now, the only thing I like using, these are great. As long as you can get in there with a butane torch, it's the way to go. But it's a little tight when you're underneath the dash. And there's a lot of wires around that you don't want burnt. Alright, perfect. Alright, now let's try and get back out of here. Oh boy. I'm not a very big guy, but that trunk is getting small. Ugh. I've kind of got my CO2 bottle mocked up how I think I'm going to run it. I'm going to have it sitting right there. I can see my gauges, I can adjust everything, I can turn it off and on. I think that'll work. So I'm going to drill some holes real quick and get this thing mounted. Okay, shot some holes in this thing real quick, and there was no use in filming because you couldn't really see anything down there. But I've got 3 bolt holes in it. 3 bolts in it. I couldn't get one in this corner because that is the tower that houses my coilovers. So, oh, magnet stuck. So, oh, there we go. So those things have got basically where the tower is, where my my coilovers mount up inside the trunk on the cross member. So I had a little bit of room there to play with, so that actually worked out really nice, and I am happy with that. Now, I put a couple gallons of water in the tank, and I'm gonna go flip a switch and see if everything is leaking. I hope it ain't leaking. We're gonna see if everything is not leaking, and turn some water. So let's go flip a switch. All right, we are actually moving quite a bit of water. So let's check the front and make sure we're not leaking here. It's flowing through. I have no leaks, so I am happy with that. Now all I got to do is get the cold side rebuilt, and we're gonna make a big difference here. I can't wait to be able to throw a crap load of time in at this and get it back over to Bob and say let's let the ugly out of this thing. So everything looks good up here too. No leaks, which is nice. I mean, there's not hardly any pressure in that kind of a system, so it's pretty free flowing. But I am happy with that. All right, I'm gonna let that run for a while and just let. All right, I had one more test that I forgot to do. That's kind of a silly one, but this is a 255 6015. I don't have an extra 275 laying around, or a 28. So I wanted to be able to fit a spare tire in the car after I have everything in it. So that is a, like I said, that's a 255. So I have plenty of room up in there with the battery, CO2, water tank, and everything. So I am really happy with that. Today, cold side. We're going to redo all of this. We're going to try and utilize as much of this as we can. My goal here, you can get down in here, look, my radiator hose. I'm going to try and cut this weld right here and rotate this basically 180 degrees and try and point it down to where it goes underneath the fan and across over to there. And then we'll see what we have left to use to do the top. And all else fails, I got 3 more feet right there. So let's take this thing apart. Okay, so while I'm waiting on you batteries to charge up for the GoPro, I went ahead and cut and mocked up what's going to happen here. So this is coming out of the turbo, and it is going to turn down where this used to be like this for a really tight turn around the tubing. We cut it in half, and we're going to go like this. So now That will dodge the radiator hose. Won't have to change anything on the turbo. So we're going to stick this to here first and see how it goes with my new little welder. Okay, I'm going to try and get one tack weld on this. I'll try and set this up where I can just do it to its, call it good. This part's going to be keeping it lined up just like I want it. One touch. Come on. Too much in it. Well, it might have stuck for a second. I'd get another one on it there, it'd feel a whole lot better. Well, I guess the camera was on. I thought it shut itself off. But, hey, it stuck. The wheel's a little bit fat, but I did run the bandsaw directly down one of those beads, so it had a little more material on both sides. But other than this little booger right here, which that'll be on the bottom, man, I'm happy with that. I can live with that for sure. That's my first full circle without blowing all the way through it, so I'm happy. I'll take that. I'll take that any day. So, guess we'll put it on the car and see how it looks. Okay, I'm pretty happy where this is going. I got that piece that we just welded on there. My blow-off valve is going to fit here perfectly, and I've got plenty of clearance around that, so no issues there. So, I've cut a few pieces to get us around the bottom of this fan right here. So this should be basically this 110-degree wedge plus a second with about a 5-inch piece, and then I think we can tuck it and run it all the way over here to the bottom. So I've got this piece cut. I have these two right here cut and ready. I just need to deburr them and clean them up. This one, 10 degree, 10 degree. That'll get us down under the motor and around, and I'm hoping this one brings it on home. So I'm gonna get these cleaned up and see where it gets us. All right, guys, I did skip through some of the welding and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm new at TIG welding aluminum, so yeah, I was going to be a little bit slow. So, but anyway, I want to show you what we got. I got this finished last night, and it was pretty late, and I shut it down and went to bed. But I'm really happy with what we turned out with. If you can see, try to get such a tight angle and everything in here. We've got the lower all bent down around underneath the fan, comes back up to the intercooler right there, and through the intercooler, and then right up and into the throttle body. It sounds as easy as that, but it took a little while to get it all going. Might be able to see down in through there, how it comes under and across to there. But man, I am happy with it. It all looks good. I mean, you can see the difference between some of Kent's welds and some of my welds. I'm a little fat and chubby. He's all slim and trim, but I will take it because I'm happy with it. And everybody can pick on welds and stuff like that, but for a first timer to go through and weld some pretty decent spots, I'm happy with it. There are some that you can't see that don't look that good. So we've all been there and done that, and usually the ones that are the ugliest are the ones that everybody can see, and I'm pretty happy that my my good ones are the visible ones. It's kind of late into the day today, so I'm hoping to be able to go drive it tonight and see how things work. And I've already tested the system. I don't have any leaks as far as the water side. Everything seemed to be real good. I'm happy with that. So hopefully we get a test drive here after a while. All right, guys, we're about to wrap this up for the evening. Remember to go in and like and subscribe, and share it with your friends, and let everybody know what we got going on here. So I'm hoping we can get some couple good cool evenings and go let this thing eat. See you later, guys. Bye.